A lot of people want to get fluent in a language fast, and it is possible. It just depends on what you mean by fluent and what you mean by fast. What's going on, guys? My name's Nick, soy el fundador de Lengualytics y hablo español con fluidez. So let's start by defining what we mean by fluency. Because if what we mean by fluency is knowing some vocab words, knowing some grammar rules, and the ability to translate back and forth between two languages, that kind of fluency is pretty easy to obtain. It's pretty trivial. But to a lot of people, this is what they mean when they say fluency. I know dozens of people who have told me in my life that they speak 2, 3, 4, 5 languages because they know some vocab words and they can explain some grammar rules. I call this for-show fluency, and I think most people can probably get there in probably a month if you really study. But if that's not what you mean by fluency, if you want to get a job in another country, if you want to talk to your girlfriend or boyfriend and they don't speak your language, or their family doesn't speak your language and you want to talk to your in-laws, then that type of fluency, the for-show fluency, really won't work for you. Because real fluency isn't just the ability to translate between two languages in your head. It's the ability to hear a sentence in another language and immediately recognize the meaning without a second of conscious thought, without a second of processing in your head. And if that's the kind of fluency you want, the kind of fluency that allows you to understand and speak your target language just like you do your native language, there's only really one way to get there. You have to take in massive amounts of input and the language you're trying to learn at a level you understand. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of exposing yourself to comprehensible input. So now that we've defined fluency, I assume the reason you're still here is because yes, that is the kind of fluency you're looking for. Real, actual fluency. Now let's answer, can you get that kind of fluency fast? The answer is still yes, but now it depends on what you mean by fast. Personally, I feel like I got fluent very fast, even though I wasn't fully comfortable with Spanish until about 8 months. But going from understanding basically nothing to being able to understand patient native speakers really does feel like a huge jump, and it is a huge jump. And when I say I got fluent fast, I don't mean I found some super secret optimized system that let me leapfrog over hundreds and hundreds of hours of immersion. I mean that I did hundreds and hundreds of hours of immersion very quickly. For about the first 3 months, I was listening to 3 to 4 hours of comprehensible input every day, as well as trying to communicate with my girlfriend, who again spoke no English. The key to understanding here is that there's a biological reality to how fast we can learn languages. To reach the level where your brain understands and produces a second language automatically, without thinking about grammar, without thinking about vocab, basically requires us to create a completely new partition in our brain responsible for directly mapping sounds from your target language to meaning in your head. You're rewiring your brain, you're building a whole new pattern recognition system, and of course, that type of rewiring is going to take real time. It's not something you can skip with some clever trick or some secret method. At the end of the day, you simply need to build that pattern recognition system. And this isn't just a nice to have. This is the only way you'll be able to understand authentic native speech spoken in real time. I used to think that people who were fluent were just really fast translators, but that's not the case. That's a myth. People who are fluent have cut out their native language entirely. No man in the middle. When you see people online claiming that you can get fluent in a language in 1 month by buying their course, it's the same genre of video as when you see in the fitness community people posting about, a 5-minute ab routine every day that's going to get you a 6-pack in a month. Those videos are meant for people who want the result but aren't willing to put in the effort. Can you get a 6-pack fast? Yes. In the same way you can get fluent fast. By having realistic expectations and actually putting in the required work every day. There's a biological reality to fat loss in the same way there's a biological reality to language learning. Your body can only lose so much fat sustainably every day. Your max might be 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week, but if you can maintain a calorie deficit for a long enough amount of time, eventually you'll lose the weight and you'll have a six-pack. And most semi-in shape people can probably get that done in about 6 months. And in my opinion, that's fast. So let me restate the original question I asked at the beginning of this video. Can you get fluent fast? Yes, but only if by fast you mean as fast as your brain can rewire itself to understand a completely new set of sounds. If you're willing to put in time consistently and you truly love the language, you can move through those hours of exposure much faster than people think. And if you're ready to put in those hours and jump headfirst into Spanish, French, German, Mandarin, Japanese, Russian, or any of those languages that you want to learn, I suggest you check out my website Lengualytics, where I host a user-sourced library of comprehensible input content and give you a nice interface to also track your time. The link is always in the description. Also, please like this video and wait with me here now until the screen turns black and you hear a boom sound. You still here? Did you guys like the suit?